Welcome back, beautiful and amazing people. This is Mario with Unapologetic Gentleman, coming to you from Brownsville, and let's read the news. But before that, I will say, I will have some tips for you viewers if the power grid goes out. I have 12 steps, okay? Obviously, that's what we're going to be reading here. It's from The Guardian, so let's go. Attacks on Pacific Northwest power stations raise fear for U.S. electric grid. And we all should be taking this a little serious here now. A string of attacks on power facilities in Oregon, Washington, has caused alarm and heightened the vulnerability of U.S. electric grids. The attacks on the Pacific Northwest the attacks in the Pacific Northwest comes just days after a similar assault in North Carolina. Power stations that cut electricity to 40,000 people. This could be you. This could be me. At first, reported by Oregon Public Broadcasting, the KUOW Public Radio, there have been at least 6 attacks. 6 attacks. Some of which involve firearms and caused residents to lose power. Hey, rifles, guns, and such. 2 of the attacks shared similarities with the incidents in Moore County, North Carolina, where 2 stations were hit by gunfire. I already read that. Authorities have not yet revealed a motive for the North Carolina attacks. Obviously, to turn off the power grid. The fourth Pacific Northwest utilities whose equipment was attacked have said they are cooperating with the FBI. FBI is really busy. The agency has not yet confirmed if its investigation was an incident. It's unknown who is behind the attacks, but experts have long warned of discussions amongst extremists and disrupting the nation's power grid. Bonneville Power Administration, BPA, said in a statement on Thursday that it was seeking tips about trespassers, vandalism, and malicious damage of equipment at a substation in Clackamas County. I don't know how to pronounce it, but I will spell it. Clackamas County on the 24th of November that caused damage and required cleanup costs hundreds and thousands of dollars. Most of these things come from China, okay? Most of these problems, transformers and such, come from China. So we don't want that. Someone clearly wanted to damage equipment and possibly cause power outages. Hey, it is winter up there. People will freeze. Take this seriously, okay? We were fortunate to avoid any power supply disruptions, which would have jeopardized public safety, increased financial damages, and presented challenges to the community on the holidays. Any attacks on the electric grid, any attacks in the infrastructure potentially puts the safety of the public and our workers at risk, said BPA, which delivered hydropower across the Pacific Northwest. Portland General Electric, a public utility that provides electricity to nearly half of the state population, said it had begun repairs after suffering a deliberate physical attack on one of our substations. That also occurred in Clackamas area in late November of 2022. It said it was actively operating with the FBI. Puget Sound Energy, an energy utility in Washington, reported 2 cases of vandalism at 2 substations in late November to the FBI and peer utilities, but said the incidents appeared to be unrelated to other recent attacks. That was their opinion. That's it. There is no indictments that these vandalism attempts indicate a greater risk to our operations, and we have extensive measures to monitor, protect, and minimize the risk to our equipment and infrastructure, the company said in a statement. I highly doubt that, because they're hitting you right now. No, I don't believe that for a second, and neither should you. Experts and intelligence analysts have long warned of both the vulnerability of the U.S. power grid and talk among extremists about attacking the crucial infrastructure. It is very vulnerable, Keith Taylor, a professor at the University of California, Davis, who has worked with energy utilities. These attacks are the real threat. So true. Kudos for you, sir. The physical risks to the power grid have been known for decades. Yes, they have. People have been sounding the alarm on this. All of a sudden, we're fine, we're protecting the power grid? No, sir. The physical risks of the power grid have been known for decades. Granger Morgan, an engineer professor at Carnegie Mellon University, told CBS, "We've made a bit of progress, but the system is still quite vulnerable." See what I'm saying? The U.S. Department of Homeland Security, DHS, report released in January warned that domestic extremists have been developing credible, specific plans to attack electricity infrastructure since at least 2020. That's so true. And you know who that is, right? The people that have no jobs. In my opinion, is Antifa. The DHS has cited a document shared on the Telegram channel used by extremists that included a white supremacist guide to attack an electric grid with firearms, CNN reported. These fringe groups have been talking about this for a long time, Taylor said. I'm not at all surprised this happened. I'm surprised it took this long. Come on. You know who it is, but you do nothing about it? Come on. Three men who law enforcement identified as members of the Boogaloo movement allegedly planned to attack a substation in Nevada in 2020. The district police in attempt to incite a riot. Okay? In 2013, still unknown assailants cut fiber optic phone lines. Hey, these guys are serious. And used a sniper to fire shots at a Pacific Gas electric substation near San Jose in what appeared to be a carefully planned attack that caused millions of dollars in damage. The attacks prompted the Federal Energy Regulation Commission, FERC, to order grid operations to increase security. They knew what they were doing. They had a specific objective. They wanted to knock out the substation. John Willingoff, the then chair of FERC, told 60 Minutes, adding that the attack could have brought down all of Silicon Valley. After the 2013 attack in California, the FERC analysts found that attackers could cause a blackout coast to coast. If they took out only nine of the 55,000 substations in the US. But we got it under control, right? The US electric grid is vast and sprawling with 450,000 miles of transmission lines, 55,000 substations, and 6,400 power plants. Power plants and substations are dispersed in every corner of the country, connected by transmission lines that transfer electricity through farmland, forests, and swamps. Attackers do not necessarily have to get close to cause significant damage. In a centralized system, if I want to take out one coal-fired plant, I don't even have to take out the plant. I just have to take out the transmission line, said Taylor. You can cause a ripple effect where one outage can cause an entire seaboard to go down. That is the end of the report. I'm going to get to those tips on in case you lose power, okay? Just bear with me a second. What to do when the power goes out. 12 things that you need to do to prepare. In the first post, we'll discuss what to do when the power goes out that ready.gov won't tell you. You need to know how to prepare for the power outage that disrupts basic services such as communications, water, trash pickup. That's very important, okay? I will put this in the description below. I'm just going to give you a couple, okay? So, one, okay, your lighting, that's what you need to do. Get flashlights, candles, all right? 12 things you need to prepare for when the power goes out. Batteries, right? Batteries for your alarm clock or whatever you have, flashlights and such. Toilet, you know, got to have water to flush the toilet and so on. Anyways, this is Mario with Unapologetic Gentleman, speaking about current events that matter to me and you. I will leave this at the bottom of the description. And thank you very much for being here.